The Sports Renegades podcast on SportsTownChicago.com. Welcome back to the Sports Renegades here on SportsTownChicago.com. I'm Ryan Stuprich.
And I'm Ryan Risky.
First segment we recapped the NFL divisional weekend, sort of talked about the games, a couple of really good games. We're also part of that, and it's going to be Green Bay at Atlanta and Pittsburgh at New England, and those are going to be the NFC and AFC Championship games. So we're going to give our picks right now on those, and we'll start off with the not National League, but the NFC. We'll talk about the Packers at Atlanta. It's really kind of a tough game to pick because, as at least I was predicting, and you probably too, it's probably going to be a shootout, and it'll probably be another close game. The Packers seem to play in a lot of close games.
First team to 60 wins?
Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, could a team get... I mean, Atlanta consistently scores close to 40 every week, and Green Bay gets into the 30s, it seems, when they can. They can easily get into the 30s. So, I mean, it's going to be close. I picked Atlanta going to the Super Bowl starting off when this playoffs started, and I wanted them to because I think they kind of deserve it. They haven't been to the Super Bowl since 1998. I think they were in the Super Bowl and lost to the Denver Broncos, I believe, with John Elway. But I'm picking Atlanta. I think they're going to win at home. I think it's going to be close. Could possibly be a game-winning field goal from Matt Bryant. I'm going with Atlanta.
This is the kind of game that really is probably going to come down to who gets the ball last.
Yeah.
Who gets the ball last. And, I mean, I think it's going to be a close game. And Matt Ryan and Julio Jones, as I said in the previous segment, they could be running all over the depleted secondary for Green Bay.
Right.
And regardless, though, I'm going to go with Green Bay. I just think Aaron Rodgers is playing out of his mind.
Yeah, he is.
I mean, and I think he's just going to find a way to win. As we saw last week with the game on the line, he found a way to get the Packers that win, and I think he's going to do that again this week and get Green Bay back to the Super Bowl.
All right, so we're picking opposite teams. This is the first time for these playoffs that we have. So you're going with Green Bay. I'm going to go with Atlanta. That'll definitely be a good game. Another game that could be good, depending on how well the Steelers' offense is and how healthy Ben Roethlisberger can be, would be the Steelers at New England. So this is going to be, another kind of tough game to pick. I think New England now has been to 6 straight AFC championships.
And I believe I read somewhere it said like 13 of the last 14 Super Bowl representatives in the AFC have all been, 13 of the 14 have been either Ben Roethlisberger, Tom Brady, and Peyton Manning.
Yeah, makes sense.
That shows what having a franchise quarterback can do. And the lone exception to those three was Joe Flacco, which he's proven though he's a big time performer when the Ravens get to the playoffs.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, that's interesting because of course Peyton Manning went to 2 with the Colts and then 2 with the Broncos, and
Tom Brady's been to 6. Yeah. Roethlisberger, I believe, has been to 3 or 4.
Yeah, I think he's been to 3 or 4. He's won 2.
He won 2 and lost 1. He lost to the Packers.
Right. He lost to the Packers. So he's been to at least 3. He might have been to another one, but
he has 2 rings, and I mean that really just says a lot though about what having that kind of franchise quarterback can do. It's the consistency.
Yeah, it's definitely
one really big consistent factor, for the most part, has been with the Patriots, Belichick was the coach, and with the Steelers, Mike Tomlin was the coach. So it shows. I mean, you see coaches getting fired usually after 3 or 4 years. It shows sometimes you have to give them a little bit of time to get everything in place.
Yeah, exactly.
And work on a good working relationship with the general manager.
So when I'm looking at this game, I'm torn because, as you said, these two teams have made it a lot to the Super Bowl.
They have experience, and the Steelers arguably have the best skill position players in the game in Antonio Brown at wide receiver and Le'Veon Bell at running back.
Right. So, I mean, it's tough. Again, it's hard to pick against New England. New England is home. It's Tom Brady again. Something tells me that, I would certainly not be shocked if the Steelers won just because The Patriots didn't play too well last week. Maybe they took for granted that they were playing Houston, which is possible.
Did you hear Bill Belichick's response when asked about having home field advantage?
Yeah, he doesn't care.
Yeah, he said, why don't you go ask Kansas City and Dallas how that worked out?
Yeah, I mean, it's all about who's the better team, who has the better game plan.
Who has the better coaching, especially in these playoff games. For the most part, a lot of these games will come down to the wire.
Right.
And or had that one game changer like Deion Lewis in that 97-yard kickoff return touchdown.
Yeah, that I think we could see that again. He's a really good player.
He is, and I remember when he came back from injury, I had a really good feeling that Belichick was going to limit his snaps in the regular season, and then once the playoffs started, just let him loose. And then
it's kind of what's happening.
Then he became the first player to have a special teams touchdown, a rushing touchdown, and a receiving touchdown in the same game. So Belichick let him loose, and that happened.
All right.
I'm going with the Patriots.
Going with the Patriots.
I think Bill Belichick has an ace up his sleeve, and he's going to find a way to slow down Le'Veon Bell.
I agree. I have to go with the Patriots. I can't pick against them. It'll be tough. Now, in the Super Bowl, I might.
Le'Veon Bell does not get to 100 yards. As good as he is, I think Bill Belichick will find a way to slow him down.
I could see it. I don't think both Le'Veon Bell and Antonio Brown will both have bad games. I think one of them could, and I think you're right. It would probably be Le'Veon Bell.
I mean, especially if Roethlisberger plays the way he did against Kansas City, because he didn't look very good. He didn't throw for any touchdowns. He threw one interception.
He was horrible on third down conversions. He was only like 2 for something on third downs.
That won't get it done against Bill Belichick and the Patriots.
Right.
That will not get it done.
Yeah, so I'm going with New England. I don't think I've ever rooted for New England in a Super Bowl. So when we look back at this next week, I'm probably going to be unless it's the Packers, I'm going to be rooting against them again, because I don't think I've ever rooted for New England in the Super Bowl that I can remember, at least recently, because I rooted for Seattle when the Patriots ended up winning on that interception in the end zone, and just going back, I don't think I've ever rooted for New England in the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
and this year will be different if the Packers end up making it.
Yeah, I usually don't root for anyone in the Super Bowl. I mean, ones that I can remember.
Unless your own team is in it.
Right, ones I can remember, I really wanted Pittsburgh to beat Green Bay.
Oh yeah,
that
me too.
Year.
Yeah,
because I was still in a not so great mood over Green Bay beating the Bears.
Yeah, and
to get to the Super Bowl.
The other the one before that the Steelers were in, I really wanted the Cardinals to beat the Steelers in that one. Because I liked Kurt Warner.
I remember. I wanted
I still
Pittsburgh
like
to win,
but again, I didn't have like a strong feeling for it. So it's interesting. I wanted Drew Brees to beat Peyton Manning and the Colts when they were in, and they ended up doing that, so that was good. So it's just there's a lot of good games.
Right. Another one I can remember is I really wanted the Ravens to beat the 49ers because I just could not stand the 49ers.
That one,
year.
I could not care less who won that one. I didn't like the 49ers too much.
I didn't really like Jim Harbaugh as a coach.
Harbaugh.
I didn't like Colin Kaepernick at all. I thought he was one of the most overrated players in the game at the time, and it turned out he was.
And then people were jumping on the
bandwagon. He had one of the highest selling jerseys, and I'm like, people. If this guy was that good, he would have been the starting quarterback at a training camp. He just got hot at the right time. There was no game plan against him because no one had ever seen him play. And then what do you know? After that, he's not very good.
He beat the Packers in the playoffs that year, right?
I think
he beat them at some point.
He ran for 187 yards in that game.
Yeah, he ran like all over them, which was crazy. Yeah, and I definitely rooted for the Giants and their 2 Super Bowl wins over the Patriots. So.
I mean, usually I'm just rooting for a good game, and last year was one of the worst Super Bowls I could remember.
Right. The one before that was really good, luckily.
Against Seattle and
But then
New England.
The year before that, it was another bad one. So
that was a really good Super Bowl, and that one between Carolina and Denver was putting me to sleep. It was so bad. It was turnover after turnover. The defenses are dominating, and no one wants to see that in a Super Bowl.
Right. I mean, I was happy for Peyton Manning, but I mean, I would have been happy for Peyton Manning if he had a game-winning drive for a touchdown as well.
Right. I mean, I really didn't know who to root for in that. When I was just rooting for a good game, it didn't happen. It's like I wanted Peyton Manning to go out with another ring because he deserved it, and I liked Cam Newton.
Yeah.
He's one of my favorite players to watch, except, I mean, he really couldn't have gone wrong. It's too bad Manning wasn't able to throw a touchdown in that game, though.
Yeah, that would have been great. But I guess he didn't need to, obviously.
He didn't need to.
So we're predicting, you're predicting a Green Bay versus New England Super Bowl.
I think Bill Belichick is the only one that might be able to find a way to slow down Aaron Rodgers, given this torrid pace he's on. Bill Belichick is the only one that might be able to find a way to do it. And
I'm picking an Atlanta-New England Super Bowl. Either way, hopefully we'll be setting up for another good year in the championship games and the Super Bowl. And I think we will be, because these 4 teams that are left are probably the 4 best quarterbacks that are left as well.
Right. I mean, and in all honesty, it doesn't really matter who wins from each league. It's going to be a really good Super Bowl. You know, you could have some real high-scoring Super Bowls, so I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, me too. We'll take a break. We'll come back. We're going to discuss the Raiders and their eventual move to Las Vegas. Another team is moving. And then we'll also talk about the Bears, and we'll also talk about who they should take at number 3 in the draft, and we'll go through a mock draft or 2 as well. You're listening to Sports Renegades on SportsTownChicago.com. The Sports Renegades podcast on SportsTownChicago.com.